Hi Chirag.
Hi.
Great to have you back at Kunzum. Of course, it's your second home.
Yes, it is. It is my favorite neighborhood bookstore. I get all my books from Kunzum. I
We know
literally
that.
call up your staff and bug them with every book request I ever have.
We love that. We love that. So, but today let's not go to a bookstore.
Sure.
But let's go back to school.
Yes, we're going to do that to celebrate Ajay's incredible book, Charlie's Boys. So when I think back at school, I went to a lovely Tamil-owned, Tamil-run school in Bombay called Vani Vidyalaya, which is where I did bulk of my school. And when I think back at school days, I think I was not in class most of the times because I was a stage kid growing up. I was nearly never in class. I was representing the school in the big debates, in the big dramatic competitions, in the science exhibitions, in whatever you can imagine. So I got the leeway to not attend classes, and I would be given extra classes by the teachers because I would win the school so many hours. I was highly hated in my class because I had the privilege to not actually attend classes. Yeah. But this is the defining sort of core memory of my school days because I had a lot of fun. We were constantly creating things in school, and we had a lot of creative freedom to just explore and be creative. Yeah. Tell me yours.
So, it's actually the opposite. 13 years, I did not miss a single day of school.
Oh, wow.
I did not miss a single class in those days,
right,
except when I was sick.
Oh.
My dad ensured, and I've written that in the book, right, for 13 years, like, unless we were out sick, we had to go to school no matter what.
Yeah.
And I narrate an incident when in class 5, my cousin had got married, and we came home at 4 o'clock, and I said, okay, today we're not going to school. At 6 o'clock promptly, it was a December morning.
Wow.
My dad woke me and my sister up. They said, off to school, right? And we went all groggy to school.
Wow.
And just that day, I also had to stay back for the scout meeting.
Right.
So I eventually reached home at 5 o'clock.
Oh, wow.
Right? But we never missed school and never had that privilege to, anything extracurriculars had to happen after school hours.
Wow. There's one other memory that I can think of, which is the crazy flood that Mumbai had in 2006 or 7. I think I was in 8th or 9th standard. And I remember school being shut for 3 days because it was just a great Bombay flood. And we were all in our uniforms. We were sent out, but in the morning we had no idea that the flood would pick up the way it would. And then navigating through these floody waters, and it was like being in an amusement park. It was our own version of getting very filthy and dirty in that horrible water. And I remember sitting at home and getting the time to not attend school but really enjoy. And then monsoon would often be an excuse, right, for us to not go to school. Like if it's raining too much, we'd request our parents to, give us a note that we could pass on to the teacher and miss school. So monsoon allowed us the joy of bunking school sometimes. Also, I would remember monsoon would mark the starting of books, the school in Bombay. So June, we'd get the new uniform, the new bags and new stationery, and we'd start folding all the wrapping paper and cover up our new textbooks with that wonderful paper that you do. So all through May and June, you're sitting and reading with your parents, reading the syllabus. But then it is monsoon, so you would end up bunking a lot of days, given the deluge of rains in Mumbai at that time.
And did you have corporal punishment?
No, thankfully in my time in school we didn't have corporal punishment. We would have suspension and things like that. There were some kids who would go a little rogue occasionally, who would be suspended temporarily as a disciplinary measure, but we didn't really have corporal punishment.
And who's that one teacher you either had a love relationship or a hate relationship?
Well, I would say my English teacher in school, Miss Kalyani. She really was wonderful. I think we all were in love with our English teacher. She really saw us. She really encouraged us. She gave us a lot of feedback. In high school too, we had Mrs. Ghosh, who taught us English, who was just so encouraging. She would encourage us to write our own newsletters, run the school magazine, and be these young emerging journalists, like experimenting, role-playing while in school, which is what led me to my journalism school. My first degree was in journalism, and then of course I have chosen to be in publishing and not a journalist in India, given the times we live in. But yeah, there have been so many along the way. Did you have a teacher whom you loved or hated?
Well, we had a history teacher, Mrs. Kak. Right. And I think every batch that passed through her class in class 9 and 10, because we had ICSE, so it was combined. So she taught you in class 9 and 10. We were in love with her.
Oh, wow.
Just like the junior Rishi Kapoor was in love with Simi Garewal in Mera Naam Joker.
Oh, right, of course. Right,
Yeah.
right. And those first loves, I guess, as silly as they may sound, are
Yeah.
so sort of impressionable, no, that age.
Absolutely, absolutely. And before we end this, what was your relationship with your library?
Oh, I would be at the library as much as I had the chance to. We also had a lot of lending libraries in Mumbai, and we also had a lot of rotating libraries that we had access to. So as much time that I spent time in the school. Of course, given that once you enter the senior years, which is your 9th and 10th, reading for pleasure becomes that rare thing that you save time for. But it was the special place where I would go and lose myself.
And do you recall that one book, the first book that made a serious impression on you while you were a student?
I'm trying to remember. It would be one of those R.K. Narayan books. I think the writer that I was mostly in love with in school was R.K. Narayan.
Okay.
Yeah. What about you?
James Hadley Chase.
Right. And when did you discover?
I think I started reading James Hadley Chase in class 7 and 8.
Oh, wow.
Right, when
revelation.
When all my class was reading Agatha Christie and P.G. Wodehouse,
right.
I was reading James Hadley Chase.
Okay.
And my headmaster pointed out that, are you sure you want to read that? And I gave a cheeky answer, if it's in the library, it's meant for us.
It's meant for us, right. That's a good way to go about it.
Yeah, but thank you. That was a great visit back to school to yours and to mine.
Thank you, but also congratulations to you. Your memoir, Charlie's Boys, is all everyone's talking about. And if you haven't picked it up, please find a way to get a copy.
Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Chirag.